Don't, you gotta speak up.
Maybe I should have had a microphone. I put it all on paper, so excuse me if I'm looking down. This is one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. I sat for days wondering if there were words good enough to speak of Donald, my duck. He would have been honored and humbled to know the outpouring of love and support our friends and family have shown. I don't know if he truly knew or understood the impact he had on so many lives. He had a way of molding himself into each person's life that seems so natural. His easygoing manner made those around him feel comfortable in such a way that many described it as if they were old friends instead of new acquaintances. It was easy to know if he liked you or even loved you. He would either let you in or push you out. Born Donald David Ramsey, he was also known as Diva, Diva D, Duck, and Doodle to those that had a special place in his life. He was born in La Junta, Colorado to parents Jean Ramsey and Sandra Gauthier, also known as Sam, on September 22nd, 1973. He grew up in Los Animas, Colorado with his older brother Brian and two younger brothers, Troy and Dustin. It was early on that friends and family knew that Donald was a unique individual. At a young age, he began to understand that the small town life wasn't for him. He itched to spread his wings and experience the world. Not long after graduating from Los Animas High School, he took the leap and left his hometown for Pueblo, Colorado. Here he would find some great friends and begin his adventures. He found that he could be himself and still be accepted and happy. His cousin Charlie described it best. Donald lived life in his own way and on his own terms. He never let anyone try to change him and never tried to be anyone but who he was. Friends were very important to Donald. The more attention he had, the happier he was. His amazing group of friends never tried to stifle him, but instead showed him new ways to express himself and to be free. He loved every one of them for letting him be himself and accepting him for who he was. I could name them all here, but this would turn into a 2-hour-long event. His love for those around him was pure and heartfelt. If he loved you, you knew it. Besides a few trips outside of Colorado and Utah, and a few other nearby states to see family, it wasn't until his 30s that he had the trip of a lifetime to Italy and Paris. After his diagnosis with Huntington's in 2009, he felt mortality choking off his dreams and began to give up. That was until an awkward and shy trucker crossed his path. That would be me, James Steele, or Jimmy, as most of my friends and family call me. Donald called me Wiley, as in Wile E. Coyote, for reasons too embarrassing to relate here. In 2013, during a stop in my travels to see a friend in Grand Junction, Colorado, I met a skinny, quiet man sitting on his friend's floor, chain-smoking Camels and chugging Dr. Pepper. I can still see the moment when I caught his attention as I was relaying stories of my travels to the room. Should have brought a Kleenex up here. It wasn't until I left to go back on the road that my friend called and asked if she could share my number with Donald. He called and thus began our journey together. I believe with my whole heart that we were destined to meet. At that moment in time, he needed a light in his life, and I needed a light and purpose in mine. Thank you very much. After we got past his justified hesitation of letting me in his life any further due to his impending sickness, he came out on the road with me for his first exploration of the unknown. He quickly fell in love with seeing new places and began documenting it all with his new camera. One of 5 cameras we would go through, mind you. I can still see him getting overexcited and just clicking away, filling up memory card after memory card. eventually amassing a photo library of nearly 700,000 photos of our travels. Along the way, we became inseparable and knew we'd spend the rest of our lives together. In 2016, we finally had the ability to move in together in Colorado Springs. Our relationship grew and thrived, as well as his need for more consistent care. After working locally for a year so we could set him up with an appropriate medical team, we both itched to return to the open road. We spent the next year expanding our adventures, taking pictures, collecting shot glasses, and trying to get all 48 states ticked off of his to-see list. A severe injury brought our trucking travels to a halt, but it never stopped us from doing more adventures. Free from the constraints of a semi-truck, we finally made it to New York City, Maine, Niagara Falls, all the Great Lakes, Mount Rushmore, the Grand Tetons, and of course his favorite, Yellowstone National Park. Until his last breath, he would revisit all those Yellowstone photos over and over and over. Watching him still get big-eyed and whisper, "Pretty, pretty," for hours and days on end still makes me smile from his delight. Huntington's may have taken him from us way too soon, but I know he lives on in each and every one of us. We all have fond memories of Donald, whether it be his smile, his laugh, his vivacious personality, his love of Maryland, or his obsession with Dr. Pepper. I will always hear him in my thoughts with phrases like "never" or "yip, yip, yip." I vow that I will continue our adventures, and I know that he will be with me every moment in spirit and in my heart. Every new and exciting place I see will be for him and his memory. I came across this saying a short while back, and it touched me deeply, so I would like to share that with you. The author's unknown. There are some who bring a light so great to the world that even after they have gone, the light remains. Donald was an amazing, talented, smart, and loving man. He was a light in my life, and I hope he was a light in yours. I hope you're having a fabulous time, babe. Spread your angel wings and fly high and protect those that still need your love. I cannot wait to see you again someday and meet your mom. Until then, my love, thank you all very much. If anybody would like to come up and share stories, thoughts, you're more than welcome. Thank you.
So, a little while back, I worked at Starbucks, and his favorite drink there was the iced white mocha with white ice and caramel drizzle. And I remember for a while it was just Uncle Jim coming in and, getting the drink and saying hi to me, and then there was times where I'd bring it home for him and say hi to Donald, and then they started bringing Donald in there with them, and everybody that I worked with started to remember him by face and would ask, like, is he getting as usual? And I remember Donald would always be so excited to see me, and I would always feel so bad because we were always so busy, but I did my best to try to talk to him and say hi, and even he'd wave to all my coworkers, and they'd always, every time he'd leave, they'd come up to me and be like, "He's so nice, he's so friendly," and they'd ask to, to get to kind of know him. And it was always just little moments like that I miss. And after a while, it got hard to work at Starbucks because I couldn't bring it to him anymore. was really hard, especially when people would order that drink exactly the way that Donald loved it. And it made it very hard to make it, because I'd just sit there and think about him. And he was such a light that I never knew that I, know somebody like that. He didn't say much to us, but just being around him, I knew that he just made him so happy. I remember we take pictures with him. It's just a little funny memory. We go to take pictures with him, and we tell him to like smile, and he'd start to a little bit, but he wouldn't. And we found out that saying the word "Tiamban" smile is so big, and that was the only way that we could get him to smile. It was so funny to find that out, but man, he had the biggest smile on his face, and they turned out to be such beautiful pictures. And just little memories like that I do miss about him. He was a very good man to know.